3D gaming. Deception is a great word for this. This was awful. Let's just put that out there now. Not only the setup, the whole process to get to 3D, but the the disappointment that came with it. My goodness. Wow. 3D has been a craze time after time throughout movies and TV and now video games. It comes back every 10 years and it's still not that good. Like in the 70s and 80s, with Jaws, I'm sure that blew people's minds. And I'm sure some people were amazed by Uncharted 3. Probably not because of the 3D. I just realized if this was a Nintendo game, it would have been Uncharted 3D. They could have done that. Whatever. And I remember being kind of amazed by some 3D movies when I was a child. I remember specifically we watched Bolt in theaters in 3D, and the 3D glasses were so bad, we put them upside down, and then the 3D kind of worked. We ended up getting free tickets to another movie later on, but 3D has just never been a good experience for me. And TV and movies, it's entertainment in general in that media has always been huge to my family. Like we didn't have a ton of money growing up, but we always invested in our TVs. And I think that's why I have a really nice LG OLED. It's just built into my DNA. But our first big good TV was this giant box TV that sat on a huge speaker. It was awesome. And then after about 10 years of that, we got a Vizio flat screen TV. We went to Costco, we bought it, and I didn't even realize for a while that it was a 3D TV. And even when I upgraded my parents to a 4K TV, which was a hand-me-down from me, I didn't want to get rid of the 3D TV. Why? Because we never used the 3D function once. So it sat in my closet for a long time, 2 or 3 years. And then I upgraded my closet. I guess you could say I modded my closet since that's kind of the thing I do here. But it doesn't fit in there anymore. So I'm kind of forced to get rid of the TV. And I didn't know if it was worth trying to keep it somehow. So here we are. I tried to make a video about me, in my experience, but it was really boring. I was falling asleep editing this thing. But we never tried it back in the day because you needed a 3D Blu-ray. It didn't even come with the special glasses that it needed. And of course, you need a 3D capable piece of media, whether it be a game or a movie. I had an Xbox 360. I didn't have a PS3. So there was no 3D Blu-ray, no 3D games. And when I was collecting my MCU movies, somehow I got a 3D Blu-ray. I don't know if I bought this or if it was a present or what, but this is my only 3D movie. And it's not made to be a 3D movie. I don't know how it is 3D. The only thing that actually is good about the 3D is Red Wing and just Falcon in general. He kind of just swoops in. I think they just made the CG stuff 3D, which I guess that works. It's not worth watching this in 3D because it's not that good. But anyways, back to the setup. I Googled what I needed for 3D, and obviously I needed glasses. So I got a 4-pack of 3D glasses because I was told by the internet that I just need the basic ones. No, I don't. I need active 3D glasses, which are rechargeable. I just realized this is also broken. Nice. Doesn't matter. It's not like these worked anyways. So I went to eBay and I bought brand new. They were still in the packaging. Not brand new because these are at least 10 years old, but they had never been worn because I'm like, I don't want anyone's used 3D glasses. So I spent a couple extra bucks on a new pair. You might be able to tell these are greasy. I don't know why they're greasy. They were in a package and they were much worse than this, but I tried to clean it up. It is gross. But I got them in. I charged them up. I tried to charge them up because they didn't charge up. And I ended up having to modify the 3D glasses and put an SP battery in it just so it would turn on so I could try this stupid 3D. And now I finally, after weeks of trying to get it set up, am able to watch Civil War in 3D. So I do. And like I said, it's just really anything with Falcon, anything CG kind of pops out at you, but not really. The black bars really ruin it. It takes you out of any immersion there is. I can get into a film when I'm watching it. The black bars don't really bother me. If there's an IMAX option, I'm going to watch that. Thank you, Disney Plus. But the black bars make it even harder to feel immersed in a 3D movie. So that was out of the question. I also don't have Avatar. I've never seen Avatar in full, but a made for 3D movie would probably be a better experience. But even then, there's so much ghosting going on. And like, yeah, you can adjust it, but then you adjust it to not be as ghosty, and then the 3D effect is worse. I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. I wish it was easy for me to set up a 3D movie in this, because then I feel like it would be good. Go watch my Virtual Boy video if it's not out already. I'm sorry. But 3D in VR is really good. It sucks with this. So after I watched a bit of Civil War and was disappointed there, I'm like, okay, everybody online says that Uncharted 3 is the best 3D game that they ever made for the PS3. So I'm like, all right, I gotta try this. I've never played an Uncharted game before. So this was my first intro to Uncharted. And I don't know, I feel like I might enjoy Uncharted, but I also feel like I should probably start from the beginning because I had no clue what was going on. But even then, the 3D effect was so bad. I was like, is it on? Is it not on for this part? Oh no, it is on right now. There's a lot of ghosting right now. That's just the biggest problem is ghosting. And I get it. Like that, it's hard to not do it because you have to see both the left and right screen with the same eyes. Because like in VR, you can section it off. So your right eye will only see what your right eye needs to see and vice versa. But you're going to see the overlay for both screens with both eyes when it's a 3D TV. I figured that would probably be better with something like this. And maybe I do have a bad pair of 3D glasses. That is totally a possibility. Because, like I said, it didn't work when I got it. And it's covered in oil. But yeah, I don't know, man. It just, I haven't been impressed. I also tried the God of War Origins collection because it is 3D compatible. This is a PSP game, literally a PSP game that they ported to the PS3, which already looks a little, how do you say, bad? Because it's PSP graphics on PS3 hardware. So the fuzzy stuff that you saw here is very crisp here. Doesn't translate very well. And then this is now in 3D if you want it to. And this was never meant to be in 3D. It just doesn't really work. It honestly just makes the experience worse because of how much ghosting goes on. And I know there's a slider, I can adjust it, but there's still ghosting. It just, all that changes is how much ghosting you have. So it's like, this was not the experience I wanted. So at that point, I kind of gave up. And like part of me is like, man, I wish I would have tried these other games that I have that also work with 3D. Like maybe a driving game wouldn't be so bad. And Assassin's Creed, maybe not. I've heard these are good games. I want to try them. Been on my list forever, but would it be better in 3D? But this, when I first heard about 3D gaming, Black Ops 2 was the game to play. And these two Call of Duties are my favorites of the series, as well as 3. But in Black Ops 2, if you don't know, you can make split screen, full screen with the capabilities 3D. And I wanted that so bad. I loved that my dad was so into gaming with me growing up, and he still is. He loves it. I am incredibly thankful for that. But playing split screen was very hard sometimes, a lot of the time. Split screen is not the most fun. However, game developers, please bring it back. It is nice. When you remove split screen from games, it makes it so I can't play those games with my father without needing another console. We're not going to buy a whole other console to do that. As much as I dislike split screen, it allows me to play games with my dad. So like, bring it back, please. But yeah, I just hoped and prayed that this would be a thing. Split screen in 3D. Could it come to the 360? Of course not. Would it come to the next generation? Heck no. We're just going to get rid of split screen altogether. But man, yeah, I kind of wish I would have tried this before getting rid of the 3D TV, which at time of recording I still have it. But I would need to mod 2 3D glasses, set it all up again, get my dad to play with me, which wouldn't be that hard, and have a mediocre experience because the 3D effect is not good. And while this would be a completely different 3D effect than these games, I just don't have faith that this would be any good. So yeah, 3D gaming, I don't know what to tell you. It's not good. I think there's a reason why a lot of people didn't spend hundreds of dollars to play 3D games for a little bit more of Nathan Drake, or at least the ghost of Nathan Drake. I think that the Black Ops 2 split screen multiplayer was the best implementation, and it's still not something I feel the need to set up just to try it, because that's just like a utility versus a cool factor. Because like these games still play without the 3D effect. Like with a VR game, you have to play a lot of those in VR. I mean, like there's some stuff like Super Hot is a regular game. You don't have to play it in VR, but I just don't see how it'd be nearly as fun without it being in VR. And I see this being way more fun without the 3D effect. So if you've never been able to try these games in 3D, don't feel like you missed out. Don't be like me. Don't let the FOMO get to you. But unfortunately, you won't get to see America's ass in 3D.